What's up, everybody? This is Jason, and I went to a pawn shop about 2 weeks ago, and this pawn shop surprised the heck out of me. I thought I had hit the mother load, and you'll see what I'm saying here in a few minutes. It was a lot of great movies, and I got each one of these. The DVDs were $1, the Blu-rays were $2. So when I went up there, I think my total was like $24. And the lady goes, "I'll just give me 20." So I got all these movies, everything here you'll see for $20. Some of it's still sealed, some of it still have the slip covers. It was just awesome. So that being said, the first up is In the Valley of Violence, directed by Ty West, who just did X, and then he did a plethora of other films. But I really want to see this because you have John Travolta and Ethan Hawke. I'm a huge Western fan, especially modern day Westerns. I love the new Magnificent Seven that came out a couple years ago. I don't know. I could talk a lot about modern day Westerns, but I've heard good things about this. Ty West doing a Western. I'm excited. Karen Gillan's in this. Isn't that the chick who played in Karen Gillan? Isn't that the girl that was? Maybe that's not the same girl. Was she in Guardians of the Galaxy as the sister, like robot sister? I can't remember. Then Tessa Farmiga. I think that's the girl from American Horror Story, the young girl. So, anyways, I don't know. But anyways, there you go. So that is the first one I got for one schmeckle. Next up, I'm probably just going to flip this Jurassic Park. It's still sealed with the slip cover. I have this on Blu-ray. I think I have two variations of this on Blu-ray, so I don't really need this. But this is one of those ones where I can flip it for maybe $4 or $5 sealed, maybe even more. So I recoup the price of this and maybe pay for 2 or 3 other ones. Sometimes they go for even more. Online, you just never know. I mean, I know we're heading towards a disaster as the country continues to, go into an iceberg. But I'm hoping I can still make some money off some stuff, physical media, online, for the people who still have some money to spend. The next one up was another one I think I can flip online. It seems to be pretty rare. I'm not going to sit there in front like I know a lot about it, but it is Imitation of Life with Lana Turner and John Gavin. So again, this is a Universal release. I don't know much about it. I'm not gonna, like I said, sit here and act like, oh yeah. But when I looked it up online, it looked like it could go for anywhere between $10 to $15. So we'll see. And if I sell it for just $5 to $6, I'll take that too. Like I said, I got this purely for flipping purposes, and hopefully I make a few schmeckles off of it. This one was I'm pretty excited about. I don't even know how I kept looking for just anything else. I'm like, 'cause I'll try to hit like, I try to get over like $20. I try to get like $25, $26. Just because I was trying to hit like this like sweet spot in my mind. I'm like, okay, if I can get $25 worth of movies, that'll be a good day. Then I came across Convoy, starring Chris Christopherson, Ali McGraw. It looks like this is a Kino Lorber joint, released in 1978. It has a ton of special features. But for $1, and also it has Mom on there, so I wrote Mom. So there's that. But anyways, I don't know much about it, but I love 70s cinema. This looks like it had a lot of promises in here. It was mastered in HD. You have Burt Young in here and Ernest Borgnine. Sam Peckinpah, that's why I got this too, because Sam Peckinpah directed it, looks like. So there's a lot of high caliber folks in here, either in front of or behind the camera. Seymour Castle's in here as well. So yeah, I mean, I'm just looking forward to checking this out. So I don't know anything about it, but Convoy for $1, yes, I'll do it. Next up was because it was sealed. I don't even know if I'll even open it. It's like definitely the weakest one in all the movies, I think. It's Scream 3. Sealed, never opened. I just thought I'd pick it up because I like stuff. I like looking at things that's sealed. I don't know why it's an aesthetic thing. And again, it's because it's cheap. I'm not buying this if it's like $5, $10 because I don't need it. I have Scream on DVD already on a couple different variations, I think. In like a box set, I believe, and maybe something else. I don't know. But Part 3, sealed, not been opened, with an Ollie sticker on there. When back when Ollie still dealt with physical media, bunch of special features, which I'm sure I have on another release. But like I said, for $1, which I will say it probably 1,000 times. Next up was pretty cool. I haven't seen 3 out of the 4 of these movies in like 10, 15, maybe 20 years. The Friday the 13th 4-pack. It's A Nightmare on Elm Street Part 5, The Dream Child, Freddy's Dead, The Final Nightmare, Wes Craven's New Nightmare, and then Freddy vs. Jason. I've seen Freddy vs. Jason multiple times in the last couple of years. I do find myself going back to that movie frequently. That also has a commentary. I didn't even know about that. Well, dang, a lot of these, all these DVDs, it looks like, have like different kinds of special features and commentaries and full screen, widescreen, jump to a nightmare scene navigation. So, I didn't even know that. I'm just now looking at the back of that. So, I have not seen these movies in literally forever. So, I have no idea. That makes me a bad horror movie fan. I guess so be it. But I have not seen, I could not, if somebody told me, I'll give you $1 million if you could tell me what happens in any of those 3 movies, aside from, like I said, Freddy vs. Jason, I would not win $1 million. I would have no idea about those movies. And I thought, I think I heard Wes Craven's The New Nightmare was actually pretty good. I know the other 2 probably suck. But I heard that The New Nightmare was kind of like his lead-in to Scream. It was kind of like a self-aware horror movie where it kind of like Robert Englund and Wes Craven were playing themselves or something. So we'll see. Next up was a Samuel Z. Arkoff collection, Cult Classics. Again, 2 DVDs, Viking Women and the Sea Serpent, directed by Roger Corman. And then Teenage Caveman, also directed by Roger Corman. Both coming out at 1957 and 1958, respectively. Both black and white. Again, I don't think I've ever seen these movies on DVD for $1 schmeckel. I'm trying to see if there's anybody out here that I recognize their names in these movies, aside from Samuel Arkoff or, Roger Corman. Robert Vaughn. Okay, I do know Robert Vaughn. That name does sound familiar. Robert Vaughn, he was in lots of stuff. But the other guy, these other people, they don't strike a name, recognition of me. So, anyways, this might be something I flip. I don't know if it's worth $1 or $20. I just think I want to give it a shot. This is what I'm kind of excited about. This one. This is on DVD, sealed, never open. WWE Legendary Moments, right here. So you have The Rock, you have Hulk Hogan, you have Stone Cold Steve Austin, you have D-Generation X, you have the Heartbreak Kid there, and The Game. So yeah, I want to see this. It looks like this Moments Caught in Time, as chosen by the host, John, You Can't See Me Now, Cena. So yeah, all kinds of stuff here. And I know if you've been a person that come to my channel frequently, you'll hear me say this, and I'll say it again. Physical media is about the only way you can really keep, especially stuff like wrestling, the way it was meant to be, the way it was intended by the original directors, creators, wrestlers, producers, everybody who created the writing teams. Because now it's only time you can find these movies, or not even movies, like clips or shows or events or pay-per-views or whatever, is on the Peacock Network. And there is already a laundry list of edits and cuts, and fall down the memory hole of things they find offensive from wrestling. WWE gave them permission to go in and completely clean house of all their back catalog of wrestling over the years. WWE, WWF, WCW, I don't know, all of them, I think. Almost all of them, they bought out all their catalogs, and they all have them now stationed at Peacock. And Peacock has already, in the last couple years since they took over the WWE as a entity of streaming services, it feels like every couple months they release all the people, somebody finds out all the things they cut out or deleted or removed completely from existence. So the only way to watch it, the way it was meant to be watched, I'm not a fan of censorship of any kind, even things I don't want to watch or I might be offended by or disturbed by. I don't think you should ever censor it, even if it's something I don't agree with. I feel like you should never censor the way the artist meant for it to be seen or watched or listened to or observed or whatever. I'm an adult. I'm a parent. I can make those decisions for myself or for my family. I don't need someone doing it for me. So knowing the fact that Peacock is actively going through 100 years, maybe not 100 years, but like 60 years of wrestling history and snipping it through and cutting it out, it doesn't do well for me. All right, getting off my soapbox. Next up, the Blu-rays. Tango and Cash on Blu-ray. I just got this on DVD not too long ago. I've already sold it, flipped it. Actually, I think I sold it for like maybe $6, $7, $8. So that was pretty good. And these kind of releases usually suck on the transfer. Like you're hoping it's going to be a decent transfer, but it looks like it says 480 standard definition, so you already go, wah, wah. So it does have Dolby True HD, so we got that going for us. So it's not even 1080p. But I'm a huge fan of this movie. Got it on Blu-ray now, so I'm excited to watch that. Next up is probably one of the most amazing science fiction movies that never get discussed. When you talk about modern day science fiction, that is the movie Life. Right here, Life, with Jake Gyllenhaal, Rebecca Ferguson, Ryan Reynolds. I want to say there's a few other known actors in this as well. Let's see. Yeah, Hiroyuki Sanada is in this. And the way they wrote this is weird. But anyways, so this is it's very much like Alien. Very much like Alien. But I think this is a great movie. If other people have seen this movie, what do you think about Life? A lot of people don't talk about it. And I feel like it's one of those movies that should get more recognition than it does. So there you go. Tango and Cash also. Have you all seen that? Do you like it? Next up is a movie I've heard nothing but good things about. I've never seen it, but I do. I love Chris Pratt. I think he's a great actor. I feel like he's kind of underrated, quite frankly, because he does most in recent years, until I think The Terminal List. I think everybody's raving about that just recently. But he's mostly been a Jurassic Park, Guardians of the Galaxy actor. But a lot of people put over this movie Passengers with Louisville's own Jennifer Lawrence. This is a slipcover, so I did come up with a slipcover. I've heard good things about this movie, another science fiction type movie, I'm assuming, because it takes place in outer space. I don't know anything about it, but I've heard good things from people I respect and enjoy their views and commentary on like film. So I thought for $2, yes, I will give it a shot. Next up is probably one of my favorite Denzel movies, The Equalizer, a movie variation of the, I think, 1960s, 70s TV show. Absolutely amazing movie. I honestly didn't know much about the TV show. I'm not going to get in front like I know a lot about it, because I did not know much about the show. But you also have Chloe Grace, Mortez. Sorry if I mispronounced it. She's great in this. But this is such a good movie. I mean, Denzel Washington has been crushing it in recent years. I mean, this guy, I feel like anything he touches just turns into this awesomeness. You have Antoine Fuqua, Training Day, also The Magnificent Seven, directed this. And this movie's great. Essentially, the girl, Chloe Grace Mortez, sorry if I'm mispronouncing it again, she ends up getting I can't remember, some kind of like Russian gangsters, I think, mob or something, and she's like a call girl or something for them, and she keeps coming into this diner, and Denzel's out there, and he has like he's kind of like that, I have a very select skill set that can destroy people left and right if I tend to use it. And you can tell he used to be like an ex-special ops guy or something or whatever. And he sees her come in one day. After coming in a couple of times, they have a nice little conversation and kind of get to know each other. He's reading a book and he's kind of sharing his book and stuff with her, but he's very like precise. He has his cup of coffee, he has his book, he has his one sugar pack, and he's like one spoon, and it's all very laid out. So you can tell he's very organized. He works like in a Home Depot type place. And then one day she comes in and she's all beat up. And he looks out the window and sees this, like, a bunch of guys had whooped up on her, that she came out of a car. And so he decided to take it upon himself when he could have just, like, turned the other way, take it upon himself to find out, let's see what's going on with this situation. And, of course, one thing leads to another, and then a lot of people die at the hands of Denzel's Washington skill set. And the whole thing with the Equalizer, again, I guess it's from the movie or the TV show, was that he can make decisions based on a certain time and know how long it's going to take to take everybody out. So he's like, he has this eternal clock going where he's like, it'll take 1 minute and 45 seconds to do this, and this. And then it goes in real time of him like taking everybody out within 45 seconds or 1 minute or whatever. Next up is a 2-film set of The Perfect Storm and Three Kings. I saw The Perfect Storm when I used to live in Japan in a 1920s theater, maybe even before that, like a vaudeville theater in Japan or whatnot. It was amazing, the acoustics, because it's an ocean, right? The Perfect Storm is a movie based in and around an ocean, and when you would hear those ocean smashing up against the ship, I mean, you felt like you were actually in it. It was one of the most amazing experiences I've ever had in a movie, where you see a movie that is like just out there, like in the theater, like where the stage used to be. They put a screen there, and then the surround sound filled the theater. But then with that acoustics, it was amazing. I love that movie. I think that's a Wolfgang Peterson movie, right? Yes. And then Three Kings, I've seen that a long time ago. You got also George Clooney and Mark Wahlberg, which is in The Perfect Storm. And I believe the Ice Cube's in this too. Yeah, Ice Cube's in there. And it's I think I want to say like a Gulf War movie, like Persian Gulf. So I remember seeing it when it first came out, like in 2002 or 3 probably. I've not seen it since. So I am looking forward to watching that. So there you go. But man, Perfect Storm is such a good movie. Oh, there goes all the movies. I just dropped it like it's hot. Next up is Aladdin on Blu-ray with the slipcover. And probably my favorite Disney movie of all time. I'm not a big cartoon. I'm not a big anime. I'm not a big this animation guy at all. But I love the Aladdin. It's probably because of Robin Williams. He does great as the genie. I'm not going to try to front. Like, I'm not like a big, Robin Williams mark. But this movie came out when I was in middle school. So I'm going to tell you all something. The people who watched this long enough, so anybody who's still watching can tell me. When I was a kid, when I was at middle school, this movie came out, like I said, 92 or 3 or whatever. So I was like a 6th or 7th grader. Me and one of my best friends would call my then girlfriend and sing A Whole New World to her over the phone. And we just thought we were hot stuff because we were in music theater, we're in drama, we're in choir. And we would sing A Whole New World. And she act like it was the best thing ever. Fast forward, a couple years later, she turned out to be a lesbian. So, there you have it. Next up, The Crow on Blu-ray. I love this movie. Again, kind of like Aladdin. It came out like mid-90s, like 95-ish, 96 maybe. 94, there you go. So I was like a freshman at this point. Aladdin came out when I was like 6th, 7th grade. This came out 2 years later. I would assume, again, somewhere around that time. Brandon Lee, again, it's been discussed a million times, died on making this movie. Towards the end of the film, he was shot with a blank that got lodged in the gun. So when it fired, an actual, even though it was like empty shell, came out and I believe hit him in the chest and killed him. But anyways, this movie, I've always wanted to see this movie on Blu-ray. And I never got around to seeing it either. It was just hard to find, or maybe it was too expensive for my blood. But for $2, yes. I'm very much looking forward to seeing this on the big screen up there, which currently I'm watching Pet Sematary. But I am looking forward to checking out this flick on Blu-ray. I'm hoping it's going to just look amazing. I don't know, 1080p, so that's good. 5.1 DTS master audio, so yeah, it looks like it has some promise. And then last but certainly not least, I was really shocked I found this in a flea market. I'm sorry, at a pawn shop in Indiana, middle of nowhere, kind of Indiana. But it is, and I've heard this is actually worth some money. I don't like I said, I don't usually get movies from my own collection based on if it's gonna be worth money. I just get it because I need it for my collection, want it, or just want to have it because for a reference disc for future. It is Halloween: The Curse of Michael Myers, but it's the unrated producer's cut. So I have heard when I posted this online in some of my Facebook groups, people were like, dude, that is amazing. That is really hard to find. It's super expensive. And I mean, that's relative, right? I mean, what is expensive to me may not be expensive to you and vice versa. So anyways, but to get this for $2, then probably did okay based on what I've been told. So there it is, guys. There is the movies. Let me know what you all think about it. I spoke a lot about these movies. Give me your all thoughts, impressions. How do you think I did? I got all these movies I showed in this video for $20. What were some of the highlights for you? What were your thoughts in general about the movies I had shown off? Any experience with any of these films? Let me know. And until next time, thanks for watching, guys. Peace.